Today, I am going to tell you something that sounds completely backwards. I got my first in-house counsel role because I decided not to be an attorney anymore. Interesting, right?
You serious?
And I'm dead serious. If I hadn't given up completely and decided not to be an attorney, I wouldn't be an in-house counsel today. I'm Candice Quinn, founder of Contract Tech, and I'm here to tell you that sometimes the shortest path to a goal isn't the one that will get you there. In this video, I'm going to tell you how I took a longer path to get to a goal that I didn't even know I had, and it ended up being the best decision of my life. I can help you find the path that will get you to the goal you never even knew you wanted. But first, let me tell you my story. So here's what happened. I had my own firm. I was a solo practitioner. I absolutely loved having my own firm, but it wasn't going so well. I didn't have a ton of clients. I was trying to do everything myself, so marketing and all the business things, as well as the legal work, and I wasn't making as much money as I needed to make to survive. And then I got a bill in the mail, and it was my malpractice insurance. And I didn't know this at the time, but each year it goes up, and not like, your car insurance goes up every year. Not like that. It like doubles and triples, especially for a solo. And you'd think it's only insuring one attorney. Why is that? Well, it's because you're the only attorney. If something happens to you, they could get malpractice claims from every single client that you have at that time. So this renewal comes in, and I look at it and I'm like, I can't pay this. Like, I can't keep the lights on. So I had no other choice other than to basically resign my firm, close it down, and give up the malpractice insurance. And to be honest, I felt like a complete failure at the time. I hadn't made it into big law. I hadn't hacked it at the firm I was at. I just was going in circles. I was spinning and I didn't know where to go. I was like, I guess I shouldn't be a lawyer, and I guess I need to leave the legal field. So I decided to start looking for other jobs.
Here we go. Pivot. Pivot.
And I decided to start looking outside of legal or outside of attorney jobs, maybe something legal adjacent or JD qualified, but not necessarily something where I needed malpractice insurance. At this point, I was burned out, I was broke, and I didn't know how to keep taking care of my family. I knew I didn't want to go back into a firm life, and I definitely didn't want to go into big law now that I knew what it was really about. I honestly didn't even know if I wanted to use my license anymore. It was actually at about this time that I resigned one of my 2 state licenses. I just could not afford to keep paying for the renewals. I was searching for legal adjacent roles like compliance and contracts. I also looked at several paralegal roles as well. I found this paralegal position at a tech company that seemed pretty interesting, and it was local to my house at the time. I knew I could do this role, but it did really feel like a step back, which felt a lot like defeat to me. So while I begrudgingly applied because I needed to survive, I wasn't exactly thrilled about it. But I did get the job, which was awesome, and it ended up boosting my morale at that point. I did go into the role though with zero expectations. I was a paralegal, that's all I was. And I was going to work for the CFO, and I was going to do some commercial contract work. I wasn't trying to prove anything. I didn't have a ladder to climb. I just wanted to get a paycheck and a break from the stress of trying to run my own business. And because I went in with this mindset of no pressure, I just wanted to do a good job, I actually started to do a really great job and really excelled in the role. I wasn't trying to be the lawyer. I was just the person who knew contracts, who could help sales make the deal close so much faster. I was able to make myself really useful. I asked a lot of questions, and I suggested a lot of solutions to different problems. And then something happened that I didn't really expect. The company needed more legal support, and they were sick of paying exorbitant rates for outside counsel. So they started asking me the questions instead, and I started researching the answers and providing them with valuable legal advice. This allowed them to see the value that having an in-house attorney provided to them, and they actually decided to change my title to attorney. Or I should say, I actually convinced them, because I said, hey, if I'm going to provide you legal advice, then I am actually practicing as an attorney and I should have that title. And because I wasn't asking for more money with that ask, they actually decided, yeah, we'll change your title. So I had an attorney role again, and because I was in-house, malpractice insurance wasn't required or necessary. So I could give a huge sigh of relief that I had overcome that. Eventually, I did ask for the raise after I had showed my value, and I got it. So I did end up in a complete in-house counsel role as the director of legal services. I started the whole legal department at that company, and it was really amazing. It gave me a lot of great experience and led me to my roles after that, including my current role. So what I want you to know is that sometimes the path forward is actually sideways, and you need to make the lateral move or even go backwards to go forward. I got my in-house counsel role by going backwards, but it ended up being the best decision I ever made, and I made more progress forward after going backwards than I ever had before. What I didn't realize was that I wasn't giving up being an attorney. I was giving up the vision of what I thought an attorney was, or what I thought I would be as an attorney. I gave up on my career that wasn't working, and I found one or stumbled on one that actually worked really well for me. Because here's the truth, I never would have gotten that in-house counsel position if I'd been applying, competing against other attorneys that had more experience than me and had a more solid resume than me at that point in their career. I would have been one of 500 applicants, and I wouldn't have stood out at all. But because I was an attorney applying for a paralegal role, I stood out really well against the other paralegals, and it ended up growing into exactly the position that was meant to be. So if you're watching this and you're struggling and you're thinking of quitting, that might be just exactly what you need to get your career on track. If you're wondering if you made a mistake by going to law school, well, maybe you did, but that doesn't mean we can't fix it. And if you feel like you're failing going down a path that's not working, what I want you to hear right now is that there's not just one path, and the path is not just linear. In fact, for most of us, the linear path is a complete lie and will never happen. Most of us don't go from law school to associate to senior associate to partner. That's just not how it works for the majority of people. Most of us stumble and we pivot and we course correct along the way. We do take jobs that feel like steps backwards because they either help our mental health or are just what we need it to do in that point in time. And sometimes those failures are actually the thing that will lead you to success. For me, closing my own firm felt like the end. It felt like I couldn't get any lower, but it was actually the beginning of my in-house career. It was the door that opened because I was willing to walk through a door that I didn't think I ever would, but I needed to let go of that doorknob I was holding. The one that thought I was going to become a partner somewhere, the one that thought I was going to have a successful firm or be at a successful firm. So here's what I want you to think about. Sometimes the doorknob you're holding isn't the one you're meant to open, and you need to pivot and find another door. Are you clinging to a version of your career that's just not working anymore? What would happen if you let that go? What would happen if you considered something else as a form of success instead of what you pictured? Maybe there's a contract position that's perfect for you, and you could segue that into a permanent position at that company. Or maybe you are suited to be a really good paralegal that is counted on and trusted by all of the attorneys at the firm. Maybe it's something in compliance or something that's not quite attorney work, but is actually what satisfies you and makes you feel successful. Don't write it off just because it's not what you thought you'd be doing when you started law school or when you graduated law school. Consider the option. Consider if it could be exactly what you need right now. Because sometimes the best career moves aren't the ones that look like career moves at all. And if you're thinking about making a career move, I have my lateral move decision matrix. You can download it by clicking on the QR code on the screen or clicking the link in the pinned comment in the description below. And if you're looking for some personalized one-on-one coaching and advice from me, let's chat and see if we're a good fit to work together. Go ahead and schedule a free call with me. You can use the QR code or the link in the pinned comment in the description below. I would love to figure out where you are, what's stuck in your career, and what goal you are looking to meet. Until next time, bye hackers!